Let's see. These are huge Season 1 reveals for Diablo 4. New legendary aspects, end date, malignant crafting, and more.
Rodrum of all ages, the Diablo 4 team has released a massive 6-minute trailer today out of nowhere, surprising everyone. They sent out a 30-second clip of it on social media, and as I was watching that clip, I spotted a few things, a few new things, a few really important things that I didn't even actually mention out loud. So I went to find out that there was a trailer itself, a full-on 6-minute clip, and well, let's just say they have revealed a ton of actual new important information about season.
Let me see. Season journey. Okay, so these are some kind of like what? Okay.
Than 1. Yes, they talked about some mechanics, but this isn't about what they talked about with the words, it's about what they haven't talked about, but what they chose to show as visuals within the trailer itself. The first thing of major note is that we were simply given incorrect information beforehand about the amount of new legendaries that will be in the season. There are actually going to be a lot of them, and I love that. A lot of new legendaries, a lot more than we thought. And so with that to look forward to, let's stop here, break down this trailer from start to end in as
Complete the campaign with at least one character before Season of Malignant Beast begins.
Much detail as possible.
Okay.
Right from the beginning, we see some super quick gameplay clips and an important.
Is this some kind of a new,
in as much
like,
detail as
new
possible.
bad guy?
Right from the beginning, we see some super quick gameplay.
This, what is this? Some kind of a demon
And an
thing?
important thing to remember is that this gameplay wasn't just chosen arbitrarily. It's not just whatever the devs were using. Even if it looks similar to what we already have in the current state of the game, they chose these specific clips of these abilities for a reason. This is a trailer, essentially. And it could very well imply certain abilities or playstyles that are going to get buffed. It may not necessarily turn out that way, but it seems more likely to me than not. We can see Upheaval on Barbarian, which is currently a weaker playstyle, but a really exciting one. We see the Shadow version of Blood Wave on Necromancer, which is generally considered quite weak. We see the Bouncing Fireball unique staff for Sorcerer, which is quite sadly weak as well. And to me, all of those being included in that initial montage is saying, hey, these are some of the things that we want you to pay more attention to do, because they might be about to get some cool changes, right? After that, we see the new
You can already have the black
attention to do, because they
this thing, the black blood wave. You can already have that as a necromancer. So this is not new. I can there is a legendary aspect that modify blood wave and bone storm to have a shadow damage, right? And I already have that on my necromancer. So this is not new. I'm not really sure about the sorcerer and barbarian thing.
be about to get some cool changes.
But for the necromancer, it's already in the game.
After that, we see the new boss being added within the season. We were told about this boss before, we knew that it existed. In theory, they are mostly tied to Malignant Tunnels, the new dungeon-like mechanic in the season, but given the room that they are in here, I would assume this specific encounter is actually possibly a part of the seasonal questline itself, sort of like a story encounter for this one boss. Then we see a short clip of the open world itself, which
It kinda looks like a
sort of like
Mephisto or something, right?
encounter.
It's not Mephisto, obviously. But it kind of looks like one. It's like female version of Mephisto.
This one boss.
Or maybe Talarasha? Is this Talara? Wait, is this the like remnants of Talarasha?
It's a short clip of the open world itself.
Because in Diablo 2 he was like shackled. There's a shackles, right? There's some kind of a chains, maybe. I'm not really sure if I can see that on the footage.
For this one boss.
There is some kind of a mark at the middle of the chest, maybe some for the soulstone in Diablo 2.
Then we see a short clip of the open.
And even I don't really remember, but it has Talarasha also had like this crazy hair, but somehow this model looks female.
A story encounter for this one.
I'm not
boss.
really sure.
Then we see a short clip of the open world itself, which now has these weird yellow egg sac and tendril-like things, meaning that they have straight up changed the entire aesthetic of the open world of the whole map to match
They just changed the.
the season of the Malignant.
I'm not really sure if they changed the whole map to match the aesthetics of Malignant season,
which even as a base concept, just the way that sounds is actually
they just added new new model for the blob in the middle.
Really cool. The entire world will feel like it's been engulfed by this crazy plague. You can see that it lights up.
Maybe it might just
feel like it's been engulfed by the.
There might be some little changes because in here there's some kind of sex.
This crazy plague. You can see that it lights up when an attack hits the egg as well, which implies that it takes damage, meaning it is an entity in itself in some way. We'll get into this a bit later.
This looks like the corpse pile or eggs pile that you need to like kill in some kind of event.
Later, but my assumption is either that these are actually.
But there are like eggs all over the place, so it might be
killing these egg sacs in the open world.
Like
might even.
Like at the bottom right now.
Crafting material. Then we see a picture of a rogue
at
on
the
character
far
select.
right.
In the top right hand corner, you can see it say that the season ends on October 9th. They slip back to this real quick, but I think it's important to note that that's actually up there. It could just be a placeholder, but based on the timelines that we've been told, each season will be around 12 weeks. October 9th would place the season as being 11 weeks and 3 days, which is pretty much right on the money, actually. Doing some basic math, they said expect 12-week seasons to expect 4 seasons per year. That would be 4.
Is it traveling into the future?
Weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year, so in all likelihood there will be exactly 1 week between the end of one season and the start of the next. In other words, the fun part of knowing when season 1 ends is that we can pretty accurately predict that season 2 is planned to start on October 19th.
Yeah, that's cool.
Likely after a big balance patch that will hit
you
on
don't
the
need to
17th.
watch some kind of
so mark that one down in your calendars for months from now to see if this logic will actually be correct for the future.
Or some shit.
If it is, that means that we can use this to predict pretty much every season for Diablo 4 ever. After that, we see a character creation screen with a necromancer. Nothing too new here, but this is what the UI
Season of the Malignant. The new form of Lilith's corruption spreads across Sanctuary, and you must stop it. This unlocks after campaign completion.
will look like on this screen in Season 1. A new form of Lilith's corruption spreads across Sanctuary, and interacting with this requires campaign completion. Again, we already knew that, but seeing the UI element is sort of nice anyways. After that,
I didn't know it
battle
was
pass. We've seen this
for
a few
the
times, so it's nothing new to us
from
at
the
all.
Lilith.
It's only the first few levels of it. Then we get another action shot of that new boss that we talked about.
It really reminds me of Tal Rasha.
But in a different location, which all but confirms
It literally
this
has a
boss will
hole in
reappear
the
in
chest.
multiple encounters. It's not just part of the seasonal questline itself. It will be a part
But it
of the
might
game
not be
and
Tal
of the
Rasha.
season in multiple.
Let me see. Hold on. Tal Rasha. I might be wrong because Tal Rasha's body was absorbed into Baal in Diablo 2, right? Yeah, it's not him.
Places. The boss itself
It
looks
looks
sick. I'm actually
pretty
excited to see
similar
this
though,
one properly
anyway.
myself in the game. After that, we see more of the yellow, goopy egg things in the open world. These ones seem to be just a bit more decorative. They don't actually seem like they'd be an enemy type of any kind. Then we have a big place worth talking about. This is Cormond. He is confirmed as the new NPC that we were told about, being central to the seasonal questline. He is the one main person trying to solve the Malignant's plague, if you will. Here we see he has this whole little base camp set up on a cliff line. There's even a stash here that we can presumably use without having to go back to town, and it's there for a reason that we'll get to in a little bit. This is a nice little area with some runic markings on the floor that I would assume are to keep out the spread of the Malignants from entering his little camp and affecting, well, him.
That's cool.
After that, we see the inside of the end of a Malignant tunnel. These are the new dungeon type activities.
I mean, the armor looks amazing.
With extra Malignant type enemies that you can use to farm Malignant hearts, which are the main seasonal mechanic here. Just a cool view over the shoulder of a character as you enter the end chamber with the Invoker set up in the middle. Then we get into the season
Invoker? What?
journey, and here we have a lot of meat to actually break down.
Chapter 3. Reach greater heights, upgrade your gear, blah blah blah. Collect scattered prisms from found from killing world bosses and treasure goblins. Buy items. Conquer strongholds. Oh, this is just season pass.
Because we simply...
It's very similar to WoW's World of Warcraft's Adventurer's Guide, or how it's called.
Weren't shown these screens in the Season 1 developer stream. We saw Chapter 1, we saw a couple of the legendary aspects in the rewards at the bottom, but we only saw the one chapter, and in that chapter...
it's a legendary aspect for Barbarians. Charge calls for 4 Asians who also charge, dealing 50% of normal damage.
There were 5 aspects. The 2 that we saw were class specific, so...
This Poison Creeper active also casts Landslide in a circle around you. Earth skills deals 10% increased damage to poisoned enemies.
The logic was that Chapter 1 rewards 5 class-specific legendary aspects into your Codex of Power, right? In previous tweets from the developers, we were told that all legendaries and uniques being added in the new season will be added to the Eternal Realm as well when the season hits. In a separate tweet, we were told that the July 18th patch will in fact add the new 7 legendaries and 6 uniques to the Eternal Realm. The logical reasoning understanding from those 2 tweets being put together is that we would only actually be getting 7 legendaries and 6 uniques for the season, but this couple of screenshots immediately disproves that completely. In the season journey, we know that Chapter 1 rewards 5 legendary powers to your codex. We now see that Chapter 3 screen, which also has 5 legendary powers, then they also quickly click through Chapter 2 a bit later on.
Complete 10 Salars, conquer a stronghold, craft any cheap gem from the jeweler.
Showing another 5 legendary powers. Of course, the implication here is that there are now 5 legendary powers unlocked for your codex per chapter, which was, by the way, my initial guess. 7 chapters, which would make 35 legendaries. I would also go out on a limb and say that there are 7 more than that, at least, which would be the 7 that are going to be added to the Eternal Realm. The way that I see it is that these journey ones will only exist as codex aspects that you can imprint, rather than being on items that you could just...
I don't think the last 3 will give you any aspects. It doesn't have like the same icon on the UI. It might just give you some kind of a legendary item or a unique item. Or maybe some kind of a cool epic cosmetic item.
The only way to interpret the tweets from the devs up to this point without just straight up saying that they said something incorrect, which is possible, but I don't want to...
See, I think my assumption just is that the first 4 might give you the 5 aspects, and the last 3 with icons of, well, some kind of a demon, it grants you something else.
Say that either. That said, lots of legendaries coming in the season, excitement building even further now. After that, we see what is presumably the first quest of the seasonal questline, Burning from Within, right at the waypoint in Kiovashad, where an NPC tells you that they saw a person turn into a demon, the corruption spilling out when her skin burst. This is sort of nuts, very visceral, and while it lines up with our understanding of what the season was going to be, this really helps to set the actual tone of it. This storyline will be dark. The whole season will be very dark. So just be ready for that. Be ready for people and monsters just bursting into demons being at the forefront of it all. Then we see some more gameplay clips, a druid using Cyclone Armor's active and then also Wind Shear as a basic skill, a rogue using Barrage with some imbuements, and again, a barbarian using Upheaval. Possibly some more buffed abilities, maybe they're related to some of the new legendaries, we'll have to actually see. Then we see a pair of level 40 characters taking on an Invoker event. These are the things that you can activate in Malignant Tunnels at the end to farm a specific type of Malignant Heart. Good to have some more footage attached to that though, so we can actually see what it looks like properly. After this, the info starts to get a bit more...
Earn favor by killing monsters, completing quests, and completing objectives in season journey. Use favor to unlock reward tiers. Premium tiers will grant only rewards to premium battle pass owners. Oh my god. We already paid for a fucking game, like... What, like 70-80 euros or USD, bro? Alright. Okay. Complete objectives across multiple chapters to earn additional favor and rewards. Smoldering Ashes are rewards in Battle Pass. Use these to unlock seasonal blessings. Boost for XP gold and more.
More spread out, so we won't be breaking it down.
Wait, is this going to be a fucking pay to win? I really hope not.
Quite as tightly as we have until now. The next bit of important info...
I don't think it...
is expect new transmogs to appear in the game. Yes...
I really hope you can buy these XP boosts for platinum. That'll be fucking no go.
There are ones from the shop that will
That
be
would be
added.
bad.
There are
That
ones from
would
the
be
battle
fucking
pass
bad,
as
bro.
well, but they make a point of saying from gear too. So of course the implication there is that there will be new free stuff that you can just find in the game as actual gear drops from enemies, then salvage that to get the cosmetic look from them. Then they talk a little bit about the battle pass itself. Not any new info on it, just showing the first 10 levels of rewards. Again, nothing major, but this is what the UI will look like for this screen. Then we see a few frames of Cormund in what I assume is his initial camp setup earlier in the seasonal questline. This is the part of the Burning from Within quest. We assume that's the first quest in the seasonal questline, and so this is one of the earlier encounters that you'll have with this character. After that, they talk a bit more about the Smoldering Ashes and the Seasoned Blessings. You get Smoldering Ashes from the free track of the battle.
Urn of Aggression, boost to experience from... Alright, so this is the boosts that you can buy from the Smoldering Ashes, huh? So the XP bonus to amount gold from vendor sales, boost to boost to the chance of rare materials from salvage, boost to duration of all elixir, boost to chance to powerful malignant heart drops. Malignant heart drops after completing the campaign.
Pass, meaning that everyone can get them even if you don't spend any money. You can spend them to upgrade different possible boosts for your character, such as XP gain from kills, gold from sales, rare materials from salvaging, duration of elixirs, and boosted drop chance on rare malignant hearts, which is going to be very important as we get further into the season. We don't learn anything new from this, but the two big things that I would like to know are how many Smoldering Ashes are we going to have by the end of the season? Will it be enough to upgrade all of these blessings, or are our choices here really actually going to matter a lot more? What level will we have to be for each of them as well is an important thing to know. We can already see that the first Smoldering Ashes are at tier 8 on the battle pass, but require you to be level 35 to actually use them, so you already have a fair bit of work to do before you can even get that first one actually applied. Directly after this though,
if you can see the battle pass, all the free items are kind of shitty looking. If you look at it. Like, let's compare this chest to this chest. Or this weapon to this weapon. Or this offhand to this weapon. Right? This is like one... You can have one free Smoldering Ash in the battle pass. It's only one, right? So we can upgrade the shit only once. For free. Okay.
Actually applied. Directly.
Let's see how much premium costs.
After this though, we see some.
If it's only like $10 or 10 euros, it's going to be fine, okay? But if it's like 50 or so, it's
something brand new, which is
going to be
malignant heart
disgusting,
crafting.
dude.
This is
What is this? Craft the random wishes that is relative to your character level. Can be inserted into vicious malignant sockets found in jewelry. So +1 affix?
actually really cool. We can make a lot of inferences from this screen. First and foremost, this is the camp area with the stash that we talked about earlier.
Oh my god, why is somebody playing a female druid, dude? Why?
Here.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Here we see 3 types of caged heart. You know that there are 4 types of them overall. One of them can go in each color of infested socket, and then one of them that's just sort of a wild card that can go in any type of the sockets. It would appear that you can't craft the wild card ones at all. Those will only be drops from the actual enemy encounters in the game, and in theory, those will be the most powerful ones, so that makes sense. But you can craft 3 other types. We didn't know that you could craft before this, but how do you craft them, you ask? Well, we can see that crafting a vicious caged heart requires devious and brutal ichor. There is also a salvage symbol tab at the top, so it makes sense to say that you can salvage the malignant hearts that you aren't going to use, which will give you ichor from that type of malignant heart. Then creating a new heart actually requires the ichor from the other 2 types. That system is actually really straightforward. It makes a lot of sense just looking at this one screenshot, and until this moment, we had no idea we would even actually be able to full-on craft these ourselves. We thought they would just be from drops, so actually seeing this is really good info to be aware of that changes the way that we're going to be approaching this season. After that, we just go back into a bit more Battle Pass talk. Nothing really new to see here. Then we see a big malignant goat man enemy spawn in, which looks gnarly as hell, and when he dies, you can see the caged heart dropping as a reward. It's just a nice cinematic view of how that system will actually work, shown super quickly. After that, we swap to a bear form druid for a moment, and Jesus Christ, do you see how red this druid is? I know you can get pretty red from just getting covered in blood from killing enemies in combat as bear form.
It's from the hair color. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Form druid for a moment, and Jesus Christ, do you see how red this druid is?
It's not really that red. I mean, it's red, but it's from the hair color.
You can get pretty red from just getting covered in blood from killing enemies in combat as bear form, but that looks.
It kind of looks like on this little shitty footage that we see here that it might look like Lilith from the initial cinematic, right? When she was like quote unquote born, right? With a transparent flesh and the skeleton inside.
Looks intensely more red to me than blood. It looks way more red before than what I've seen in game. No idea what this actually is though, but it implies to me that Clifford the Big Red Bear might be a bit of a hint towards a legendary, maybe a malignant heart, or even one of the new unique items that will be added to the game. Then after this, it just shows some Eternal Realms.
I mean, if there was some kind of a like legendary aspect or unique item that will like change the visual effects of the bear form or the wolf form, that would be amazing.
Stuff talks about the
like only if it's like show you like some kind of armor on the bear, right? It would be so cool.
Concept of starting again fresh and how it is not as daunting as it may seem.
Like imagine being this little shit, you know, running at somebody, and he turns into like 10-ton, like 1,000-pound fucking werebear in full plate armor or some shit like that. You know, that would be
all of the fun stuff. And in this existing game footage that we already have, it actually cuts to show a.
Where is this? I don't recognize the area.
Bear druid who is notably less red but still covered in blood, which I think lends credence.
I think it's the same red, but it looks like less because of the contrast of the background. Because in the previous footage he was in the snow area, right? So he might be appearing much more red.
Point, my last theory. After that, we can see what appears to be Cormand himself, the main NPC of the seasonal questline, the person trying to solve the malignance. I don't know, I'm sort of inferring from the silhouette, as obviously the lighting is intentionally quite vague here, but I'm pretty sure that's him. The outfit and the hair looks right, but it appears that he is the one summoning the new boss that we know about. Potentially this will be a big sort of bearer of the malignance, the curse spreading around, and he is summoning it to try and get us to kill it and defeat it in the hopes that it will solve the actual problem. Spoiler alert, the season is 3 months long.
It will be cool that instead of this like mystery boss, there will be like Andariel or Duriel, because I think these two were kind of like lackluster in the campaign. If you played it already,
this will not solve the problem. Past this, they just go back.
Also, where's the fucking paladin?
Back over the fact that your Altars of Lilith and your Fog of War map discovery progress will be saved going from the Eternal Realm going into the Seasonal Realm, which is lovely to hear again, even though it's something that we already knew, and that's actually pretty much it as far as the actual info dropped within the trailer. The full trailer has been broken down right here from start to finish, all the important stuff, all the little hints that they don't say out loud, but they're trying to drop somewhat slyly, and the biggest thing, without a doubt to me, is one, confirmation that we are getting at minimum 15 new legendary aspects to our Codex of Power, though in all likelihood it will actually be more than double that if we can extrapolate properly based on the information given. And two, we can craft the malignant hearts. We thought they were only drops before, but knowing that we can craft the vast majority of them actually changes the system quite a bit. It removes a lot of the RNG potential that it has. It means that we actually have a lot more control. All that to say, there is going to be a big balancing patch as well before the season starts. The season itself will have a ton of changes to our builds too, in theory, both between the balancing itself and then these new legendary powers and the Malignant Hearts that we will have added as well, so we have a lot to look forward to here, and a lot of theory crafting in our future too for the people who like to come up with their own builds. Outside of that, we got to learn a good bit of flavor stuff.
I mean, getting your own build going, it's fine, but it's not really optimal. You still have to browse through maxroll.gg and, you know, copy paste the builds from there.
We got to see the new boss in action just a little bit. We got to see actual active.
I mean, I have my own build, right? So, and I know it's not optimal, but I don't care.
Visual changes that will affect the entire open world of Diablo 4, which is awesome. And we got to see a tiny little bit of the seasonal questline itself and what it will look like. I'm really just looking forward to seeing even more stuff. I cannot wait for the season to drop. I've loved my time with Diablo 4 so far, and I cannot wait to see how it continues moving on.
It looks fucking weird, this druid build. Like this storm wolf guy, it looks just weird to me.
Season 1. Like if you liked the video, subscribe with the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Yeah, this video was actually pretty good. Actually, I will give him a subscribe and a like. Yeah, I mean, did we know anything new apart from this? I mean, this is the only thing, right? That's like useful, I guess. And some of the few like UI changes, right? But I mean, it's a good video, sure. Yeah, especially go and subscribe to this guy. He does very nice like even guides for the builds. You should check them out. Yeah, this channel is actually pretty good.